Are we recording or okay?
Okay. Well, good afternoon. Hi, folks. Father Dan here, obviously with our special guest today, Father James, our associate pastor, our illustrious associate pastor. So we're so happy to have him with us, and happy to have you with us on this beautiful, supposedly fall day, but it feels like spring. And we're going to talk a little bit about what Father James is doing with his scripture after Mass during the Sundays of Advent. But maybe I thought we would begin by just, Father James, how'd you get so interested in the scriptures? How did that become your passion?
Ooh, okay, that's a big question.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I mean, I would say that the beginning was in my undergrad.
Mm-hmm.
So at my undergrad, there you had to take like these breadth requirements, and one of them was a classics course
Mm-hmm.
of some kind. And in order to satisfy that, and in a way that fit with my schedule on that semester, I took a biblical Hebrew course, and so it was an intro biblical Hebrew, and I took it first semester, and then that was enough. You
Mm-hmm.
could stop, but I kept going. I took another semester, and then
you got a taste.
So I went, yeah. So, and in fact, I even went so far as to study abroad my semester of my junior year at Hebrew University in Israel, and nice. I took more courses, Dead Sea Scrolls, rabbinic interpretation, that kind of stuff. So that's how it all began, I would say.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's tremendous. I think it's fair to say that still Catholic biblical literacy is maybe not what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say, like, what would be your elevator speech to Catholics to dive more into, maybe even particularly the Old Testament? Because,
yeah, I would say when I was starting to get more into Scripture, and I was looking for avenues for digging into it, exploring it, people to talk to about it. I went to Protestant Bible studies because they were the ones who were talking about Scripture. So I would say that the Protestant love of Scripture is something that I'm very, grateful for, because it afforded me the opportunity to learn about the Bible in all these many ways. I would say that that's a gift that we could share as Catholics and learn from. And maybe our love of sacraments is something that we could also share with our Protestant brothers. So I think we can all share our gifts with one another. So I think that would be the beginning.
That's awesome. Terrific. So tell us a little bit about the class. Might be a little bit too much, but the discussions you've been having started last Sunday and then throughout the Sundays of Advent.
Yeah, so I'm hosting or facilitating a Bible study during this Advent season, and what I'm looking at in particular are the Son of Man passages in the Gospel. So from our homilies, in our creeds, through our tradition, we proclaim Christ as Son of God, and obviously he is. And then when we return to the Gospel, we're confronted by Jesus, who will consistently throughout his ministry refer to himself as Son of Man. And so Son of Man is not something that's preached upon all that much. And this was the way in which Jesus most commonly spoke of himself, his ministry, his mission. And so what we're going to look at is the apocalyptic context for that Son of Man image. We're going to look at apocalyptic texts and see how they were used, both, apocalypse inside the Bible and then those apocalypse that we have outside the Bible. And we're going to see how that understanding of Son of Man informs how Jesus's audience receive. Because you'll notice that his audience never like ask like why the Son of Man has the power to forgive sins, right? They just accept that that's what the Son of Man would be able to do. So like these are things that Jesus is using very in passing without having to explain anything to his audience, because he knows that they understand these references. Well, that's something that we should probably understand too. So that's what I'm hoping to explore in the Bible study.
Excellent. And again, that's around noon Sundays. Then the rest of the Sundays in Advent, second, third, and fourth Sundays. So the next 3 Sundays. So that's wonderful. So come one, come all to be part of that. So another thing that is going on tomorrow is the feast of St. Francis Xavier. So December 3rd, what a great feast. James, I know you have your family background is in Spain. Have you been to Xavier? Have you seen any of the Ignatian sites there? Or
so when I was going to Spain the last time, it was the summer before my entrance into the novitiate. I hadn't heard back from the vocation director, so I was like, look, I'm just going to go on this pilgrimage, and I guess I'll see the Jesuits later. And when I was in Paris at a friend's house, she got a call from somebody who was speaking English. She was like, it's an English speaker here, you talk to them. And it was the vocation director. So first off, I don't know how he got that number, but in any case, that's how I found out that I was accepted. So I flew into Paris to visit some friends, and then I started the pilgrimage, the Camino de Santiago, so the way of St. James. So I started there. I have not traveled to Ignatian holy sites, though. That's something that's yet on my radar.
Me either. Maybe in the spring semester we could host one and invite parishioners to go.
And, yeah, that sounds fun. Let's do that.
I love that story. That's a great one. I was a student at SLU, and I was living at the corner of Van de Venner and Lindell when I got my notice of being accepted. So little Paris, Grandin Lindell.
Potato.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of similar. Yeah. Well, that's terrific. And one of the things that this has also been about is our Ignite campaign. So a lot of the content that we've been putting together, focusing on different aspects of the parish, has been for this campaign. Thank you for your generosity. We have nearly reached our goal. So thank you so much. And I hope that you have found, if you've been tuning into some of these YouTube videos, a great sense of the breadth and depth of everything going on here at the parish. And so that's been really, really helpful. So let me ask you, James, about this. You're also we know you're working as well in campus ministry, crazy time of year. And so
exams,
how have you been finding that with the undergrads and the students? And
yeah, the kids are, they're tired. They're working a lot. They're cramming. They're preparing for travel, and that has its own issues nowadays. So yeah, the kids definitely need our prayers.
Yeah, good. Well, certainly they're such a big part of our community. So I believe exams, well, I think next week is the last full week of classes, and then exams start. So certainly be praying for them. So that's great. So thank you for taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, wonderful to be able to chat. And thank you, viewers and friends, for checking us out. And thanks for all you do for College Church. See ya.
Take care.